Recorded live with little or no editing. It's Defense Up. I'm Run 7. How you doing? Today we had a huge crowd in voice helping me go over these teams. As usual, we like to get a lot of people to come in and we talk with chat and we get different opinions on all sorts of stuff. Today we're going over JohnTheMane's roster. He's got 14 million TCP working around silver, gold 4 areas in Crucible. And what's cool is we always find that regardless of the TCP and the rank that the people are operating in, we have great and interesting discussions that happen behind the scenes. And the only way you're going to get to be a part of those discussions is if you find me live on Twitch Monday through Friday. We do the Defense Up recordings Friday afternoons now. And you can be a part of that. And content creators are always welcome to jump in on that voice if you guys want. So first up, in room 1, we have the Gamma team. We want a placement change on this, putting Red Hulk in the middle. The reason for that is new Warriors are going to go into this. Gamma is basically a sponge for the new Warrior team. It's kind of what you always want to do. And so going into it with a new Warrior team, at some point there's where you want to spread some offense down, and having your Red Hulk in the middle means you're either going to give him extra charges or you're going to spread offense down to only 2 people or from one to another. And so that really helps, but that's about the only thing you can do. So other than invest in this team a little bit more, you could make Green Hulk or the entire team healers. However, in the pressure points room, they're really capitalizing off of strikers and raiders. So for us, this is a B+ team. It's going pretty well, but the position swap is going to be probably the best move that we can make right here. All right, in room number 2, we got the Bifrost team. We liked everything about this. Continue investing. Get the blue ISO on this team as fast as you can. The priority build here is to continue boosting up Vol, get them built as big as you can because they're the hitter on this team, and then immediately switch over to Sylvie so that she stays alive long enough for Vol to do some attacks. That's going to be pretty important. Now, at 426, you think this team's going to get rolled, but this team actually does some pretty amazing stuff at lower levels. We like the positioning. We like the ISO choices going on here. You could make Beta Ray a Raider if you wanted to. I think he does just fine as a striker. He's got lots of AoE attacks on this team, and it's working pretty well. So for us, this is an A, just keep going. And then in room number 3, this is where things get a little bit dicey. This is the Infinity Watch. Now, everybody's running Infinity Watch. And in previous episodes of Defense Up, we have said that putting Kestrel in here as a 5th is extra credit, and we normally give you an A+ for that. The problem is, in this one, she's replacing Adam Warlock. Now, Adam Warlock gives immunity and safeguard on spawn. Thank you for that tip, Rolf Kieran. And so replacing Adam Warlock is kind of detrimental to how this team works. It's basically eternal food. Icarus is going to flip this team and blow them up. It's going to be real fast. So that kind of sucks. You hope that your opponent isn't able to use Eternals on this team. Your choices are limited at this level. A lot of people don't have like a Quicksilver. They don't have Apocalypse. They definitely don't have Super Skrull, because who's got that? And so we're kind of thinking that it may still be okay to run this team as it is. This might be the best choice for John. He might not have the Adam Warlock unlocked. And so we're going to roll with it, and we're going to give him a B. And the reason we're giving him a B is because Kestrel should be a Raider and Moondragon should be a healer to help this team out. And then the people who revive, you want to try and keep them apart as far as possible. That usually makes a difference. But if we can get Adam Warlock in here, and that's a big if, then we'd like to replace Moondragon with Kestrel. So a B for that team. Let's move on to room number 4. Here we have the Rebirth team. Rebirth team isn't getting a whole lot of traction in here. It's just kind of a thing to do. We do like the Zemo build on Rebirth when they're not in 2. When they're in 2, you use the full Rebirth team, or even better, use the Bifrost team. But in here, we're going to use Zemo in place of US Soldier. One thing that we want to do with this team is chuck it. Let's go with YA instead. Get that Echo in here to help with those counterattacks. It's a long team to kill. They absorb a lot of attacks, and it's just an efficiency sponge. YA might be a better choice. And then you'd have this as an extra team for your offense. Now, at higher ranks, nobody's going to be using this on offense, but down in the silver and gold ranks, we're probably going to need them because our rosters are limited and we have to be a little bit more creative. And on this build right here, assuming there's no YA, and this is what we've got to work with, the only thing we really need to do is swap places with Peggy and Winter Soldier, getting her as far away from the taunt as you can, and hopefully she survives long enough to heal up the team and keep them going. If Peggy gets that move off, it's kind of game over for your opponent. Remember, you don't want to rely on your opponent making mistakes. You want to force them into making hard choices. So a lot of people were saying, oh, you know, these rooms 3 and 4, they're not where you're going to get defensive victories. That's right. But you are going to soak up your opponent's offensive teams in here. That's why we put Gamma in here. Gamma's not going to win in room 1 or pretty much anywhere because the new warriors are going to kill them. But the new warriors are going to kill anything they go into. So we soak up those offensive teams. I like this. It's pretty good. If the YA team is built, let's throw them in here. They're probably built and built bigger than this, and that might be better. Or they're non-existent. I don't know. But definitely, if you're keeping this team in, swap places with Peggy. I'm going to go with another B for this team. Over here, we have what we can do. So here's the thing. We've got Beast, but no Jubilee. There's not much synergy. We've got Magic, but no Phoenix. There's a lack of synergy there. However, and this one's coming from Windstorm in chat, Magic does give Drain to all the uncanny X-Men. And of course, they're all uncanny. If you've got one, you've got them all in this room. So that Drain feature might still be valuable. But if we don't have Jubilee, let's replace Beast with Phoenix. If we don't have Phoenix, let's replace Beast with Dazzler. If we don't have Dazzler, then I guess this is as good as it gets. But I think we can do a little bit better. And if you don't have Dazzler or Phoenix, but you do have Jubilee, then we can replace Magic and 7 other permutations that I probably forgot. But let's just pay attention to what these two do and try and get a little bit better synergy in there than this. Otherwise, this is okay. Rogue could be a striker, but at lower star levels, you want her as a skirmisher to land the ability block. Again, your opponent might not have that much resistance, so it may not matter. You might be able to get away with switching her to a striker for more damage. She is the second damage dealer on this team, Gambit being the first. Remember, this drain mechanic from Magic does affect Gambit's passive, so when he's pinging, he's healing himself up, and that's pretty good. For me, this team is an A-. I think it's something pretty good, but we could give it some tweaks and make it work better. And finally, in room 6, here is the linchpin of the whole thing. This is what you are trying to soak up all the good stuff for, and you hope that they can't even clear it. This is a pretty big Darkhold team with Agatha as a 7x7. John probably spent on that one. I don't know where that came from. A lot of us were laughing because we don't even have a 7-7 Agatha. Great team, great placement. Maybe Scarlet Witch could be a skirmisher, but you don't even need to do that. You could leave her as a healer. As soon as we get Quicksilver built up, we might want to put Quicksilver in here. If this team isn't holding for some reason, and it might not hold because his opponent might not have Zombie Iron Man, right? If they started playing after October last year, no one's getting Zombie Iron Man shards right now. So Scopely, wake up. Let's get that back into rotation, should you? And then, so they might not have things that can kill this team and it might hold, but if this team is folding, you might try putting in something like a pre-taunt tank in place of Scarlet Witch. We heard things like putting in Kingpin in there to summon some people, something that might work, but I kind of like this exactly the way it is. That's why I'm giving this one an A. I think this is really well done, and I don't think this team needs any more work right now. Might want to put your efforts into other places in this roster. Remember, at any level of play in Crucible, you can find fun and interesting things to do, and if you guys want more ideas of what to do at your level, just keep watching and send in those pics of your teams. We'll get you on the list to do Defense Up, and we'll talk about them. You can be a part of the live conversation. You can come in on voice, and we'll talk to you directly about your teams. We really do enjoy this because we love geeking out over Marvel Strike Force and working on these teams. So remember, guys, don't just have a good game. Be good to yourselves and others, too, and I'll see you next time. Bye.